Hey everybody, my name is Mr. Jurassic, or Mr. J. Just want to take this time to thank you for inviting me into your classroom today to talk to you. I am from the state of Michigan, which is 643 miles north of your location right now. Before I get started, I just have a couple questions for you. Do you happen to know what your state tree is, or even your state flower? I'm asking you those things because we're going to talk about plants today and their functions and how they survive in their surrounding environments. I know the Michigan's state tree is called the white pine, and the state flower is the apple blossom. Are we still having a hard time figuring out what our state tree is in North Carolina, or even the state flower? I can help. The state tree is the pine, and your state flower is the cornus flower, which blossoms off of a dogwood tree. It's kind of cool how our two states have similar state trees and even state flowers, at least the looks of the state flowers. Most plants, trees, flowers, those sort of things, they all differ depending on their location. I have a couple drawings that I developed. One of a palm tree, which can be found in a tropical location. I always think of Florida whenever I see one of these. This tree is developed to handle the heat and extreme weather, high winds, that sort of thing. Hurricanes. They can last through a hurricane, which I think is pretty cool. Another tree I have is a Christmas tree, if we want to say that. It looks a lot like a white pine. These trees last in the extreme cold weather. Not a lot of our trees really survive all year round. A lot of our trees lose their leaves so that they can still bloom in the springtime. But let's get on to the function of plants, how they function as far as how they gain food and energy and build and expand. Right now, first I have this drawing right here. So what we have here is we have a stem of a plant, a flower. Then we have our grass, okay, going across, and then our roots. Now our roots, they collect nutrition from the ground. Okay, now if you're not understanding what that means, is it's kind of like this. Okay, so here's us, okay, a silly picture of us eating an apple. Now we're gaining nutrition from our apple. Okay, so much like what the roots here are doing in the ground. We get the nutrition, it goes up the stem, and it goes to work. Okay, so about the stem, food goes up the stem. Alright, food also the plant gets from the leaves. Okay, the leaves have a certain way of creating energy for the plant. Much needed energy for the plant. Okay, so it helps it build food to give energy to the plant. Now to the stem, back to the stem. Okay, this thick green part right here. That holds the plant up. Now, what helps hold us up? Well, what I think about is our skeleton. There's my silly picture of a skeleton. That's our structure. That helps us stand up, helps us move. Okay? So there's the plant skeleton, the stem. Okay? Now, up to the flower portion. There's the pretty flower. It looks a lot like your flower, your state's flower. But right here, so we have our petals, and inside, this is where they store pollen. The pretty flower tries to attract pollinators. Well, what's a pollinator? Well, a pollinator just so happens to be this lovely bee. This bee gets hypnotized by the flower. It flies in, lands in the very center, very center of the flower, and it gets stuck in there. Okay, it wants to be stuck, and collects all this extra pollination that's inside the flower, and then it flies off. Well, why does it fly off? It flies off to go pollinate another tree, or another plant, another flower. And when it does that, it creates new plants. So then it just continues over and over again. And that's just a quick example of how the tree or flower or any plant you see gives life, how it survives out in its own environment. Now I want to ask you another question. Are you interested in finding out more? If so, I found a website that I thought was very interesting that you guys might enjoy. So right here is the website. Okay, it's very small, I understand, but take a look at it. It's got cool games, quizzes. It tests you on certain little things. It's very cool, so I'll read it to you. What it says www.sciencekids.co.nz/gamesactivities/lifestyles.html. And again, I just want to thank you for allowing me to come in your class again today. I had a wonderful time, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon. Hope you guys learned a quick little lesson on plants and learned some plants in your area. And I just want to say, have a wonderful day, and goodbye.